And again, welcome all to this May 13, 2024, a meeting of the Bluff Village Board of Trustees. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Cole?
Here.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee Freed?
Here.
Trustee Hatch is absent. Trustee Rappin?
Here.
Trustee Ryder?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flags of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on our agenda are the consideration of the minutes of the April 24th, 2024 regular village board meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any changes? I do not see any change. Clerk, please call the roll. It's a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you so much. I need to get used to that.
One day.
Next. Couple years from now. Next on our agenda are the non-agenda items and visitors. The village president and board of trustees allocates 15 minutes during this item for those individuals who would like the opportunity to address the village board of trustees on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each person addressing the village board of trustees is asked to limit their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Thank you. And as such, please, as you approach the podium, please state your name and your address.
Good evening. I'm Gail Gamrath. I live at 660 Green Bay Road. Thank you for your time this evening. We are here again to ask for your help in enforcing your own village ordinances. We were frustrated that the Park District asked for a continuance for the zoning process after stalling for 8 months over the winter, talking about the pickleball courts. We heard the reason for the continuance is to examine the findings of the noise study, a noise study that we understand they canceled last fall. We now have one and another one pending noise studies demonstrating the courts are well over the permitted noise levels for residential areas in Lake Bluff. The courts are violating our noise ordinances and need to be shut down until the zoning process is completed. We know this could drag well past June, like many zoning processes do. Last July, when you originally shut down the courts, we were asked to work with the Park District to come up with hours. The hours were decreased, not due to the Park District, but to the kind pickleball players in the room that heard our situation. The Park District wanted much longer hours, 7 days a week. The Blair Park neighbors never agreed to any hours, but at that time we were so tortured with 13 hours a day of play, anything seemed better. As you are aware, the Park District has tried to increase those hours on multiple instances, even going against the recommendation of their own facilities committee. The courts are not monitored, and we've had to ask people to leave on multiple occasions over the past few weeks and last summer. The courts have open play on Tuesday through Thursday, but there's still play on weekends due to programming. I think people are confused about that, so we just wanted to make sure people knew. So this programming is at the whim of the Park District. Last summer, they held lessons at 8 a.m. on Sundays, and on Saturday morning for a 9 a.m. lesson, they used gas blowers to blow off the puddles so they could play. This is all documented on video. There's no regard for the neighbors, and the courts currently can be used 7 days a week. We know there's talk of large events this coming up. Yesterday, on Mother's Day, people came to play and found the courts locked, so they decided to play on the paddle courts, which is extra elevated and loud. So it never ends, and we're asking for your help. I'm a high school administrator, and like many of you, have stressful day jobs. You probably get to go home and unwind and have some peace in your homes. Many of you probably have work like I do at night, along with family responsibilities. We do not have that peaceful home to walk into. We walk into a house that sounds like a new roof is being installed on multiple days a week, a sound that I do not know when it's going to stop. I do not know if I will have to go tell really nice people to leave or sit there and wonder if they will leave and leave past the posted hours on their own, because the Park District doesn't manage it. They don't even have staff there that late, so we are left to police the courts. Also, as a high school administrator, I have a responsibility to look out for all students. When a program is enjoyed by many but hurts a few, we end it. It was the demise of schoolyard team picks till the last poor kid sat there until they wanted to be picked for a team. It was the end of hazing on sports teams or college campuses. Those were enjoyed by many, but definitely hurt a few. We used to run a huge anti-bullying assembly for many years. We thought it was good for many, but as I learned from an angry parent phone call, it hurt her child. The parent was right, and I ended the program. During the April 17th Zoning Board public comments, resident after resident asked for multitudes of reasons to close the Blair Park pickleball courts. I really hope you take the time to listen. That's a long meeting. We all sat in here, but at 2 hours and 30 minutes, the voices and the people of Lake Bluff spoke, and there is no compromise when you are harming people. There was one commenter, however, a physician, who looked me in the eye and said, "Yes, noise is harmful," but then said, "But people like to play pickleball, and it's healthy for them." Again, enjoyed by many, but hurts a few. So please help us end this stressful situation. You are allowing people to break your own rules, your own ordinances. It's not lawful. The Park District had their chance to work through this while the illegal courts have remained in use 7 days a week. It's time to follow our own laws and shut the courts until this process is finished. We know you're trying to work together with the Park District, and I appreciate that, but the neighbors' health, the neighbors can't be the concession. I wanted to bring attention to one other thing. In the packet for that April 17th meeting, the meeting coming up on this Wednesday, there's 10 people asking for the Blair courts to be open. I had some time today, and out of those 10 people, 2 are Lake Bluff residents. So then that led me to the packet from April 17th. There are a lot of Lake Bluffers in there, I think around 25 to 30, but over 21 of the people on all those letters that came in, they're not Lake Bluff residents. So I just want you to know it looks like a lot of people, but I think it's way overstated what might be even our Lake Bluffers playing on those courts. Finally, I just appreciate all your time. I know this has been a lot. It's long. You're embroiled in this. We have a great community, and I just know it's a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, to echo, thank you so much for all that you do. I'm Leif Gamrath, 660 Green Bay Road. I'm here tonight to verbalize my deep objection to the Park District's request for a continuance in their long overdue zoning process, and I'm asking the Village Board to disallow all pickleball play on the Blair Park tennis courts effective immediately for the entirety of their Zoning Board of Appeals proposal process. The next meeting is until June, as we know with all zoning things, this may take months. Among other things, the Zoning Board and its regulations are designed to promote safety, health, comfort, morals, and general welfare to the public. To allow play during these proceedings contradicts this very mission. It's within the Village Board's power to make this right. A paraphrased version of our village noise ordinance states that no person should erect or permit to exist the use of property that shall substantially annoy, injure, or endanger the comfort, health, or safety of the public, including any offensive noise to the disturbance of the peace or quiet of a neighborhood or of any person residing in the vicinity of such a premises. Our property is less than 30 feet from these courts. The Village Board now has new information provided by Bob Unitek, clearly illustrating that the noise from the pickleball played on Blair Park tennis courts exceeds the village's noise ordinance. Steve Thunder's data will likely support this finding. I feel strongly that the Village Board of Trustees and the Zoning Board of Appeals are institutions designed to protect the underrepresented and empower the individuals of this community. But allowing play during this process strips us of what little power we had, and it unjustly gives it to the very system that we're trying to fight. We are left helpless while the Park District carries on, business as usual, with no incentive to move forward with the zoning process, kicking the can down the road as they have for nearly 2 years, at the expense of the neighbors. The Park District will howl, bait and switch, claiming that they have substantial programming during the summer, including camps and lessons, all of which that could be seamlessly transitioned back to tennis, which would not break Lake Bluff's ordinances. They have decades of programming experience that didn't involve pickleball. Don't let them play the helpless victim. This is their doing. I am concerned that the village is contradicting itself by requiring the Park District to go through the zoning process out of the concern for the general welfare to the public, yet at the same time you are allowing harm to come to the neighbors of Blair Park. I understand that the village is extending a good faith gesture to the Park District by allowing play during this process. There is no good faith for one when harm comes to another. If the Park District gets its way, this will drag on for months and months. There is a process in place to protect the residents of Lake Bluff. Please enforce it by disallowing pickleball play during the zoning process. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Pavlik. I'm at 670 Green Bay Road. I'm here tonight to also talk about pickleball play at Blair Park and ask for your help. As you all know, pickleball is incredibly loud and intrusive in our homes. We live so close to the courts that the sound comes inside, even with the windows closed. Because of its characteristics, this sound is impossible for us to tune out, unlike almost every other noise that comes from Blair Park. It has also become a constant reminder of how callously the Park District has treated us neighbors. They say that they are working with us, but they do not acknowledge our emails or comments in meetings. And the only accommodation, as Gail mentioned, the current hours, that has been offered was presented by pickleball players in an attempt to help us out. The Park Board wanted more hours and almost voted that suggestion down. They do not monitor the courts, and we have had to be, as Gail has said, the ones that go out and ask people to stop playing after closing time or even on off days. And between the noise and this treatment, we are exhausted. This is why I'm here tonight to ask for your help. We need you to step in and support us. The Park District has asked for a continuation to the RAO process, meaning this could drag on all summer. So pickleball could be happening all summer. So that noise will be with us all summer. Please stop play at Blair Park now so that we can live in peace. Please help us.
Thank you.
Hello, Nathan Pavlik, 670 Green Bay Road, and expressing similar sentiments. I am drained, just absolutely drained. I put together some extensive materials regarding the noise from the Park District and really how it's impacting our lives, the way that the Park District is not enforcing what they've said they would do, and the stalling and continuation of the zoning board really leaves me feeling hopeless. So I'm asking for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Regis, do we have time for any questions, or I don't know the process here, or do we just move on?
Usually public comment is just for public comment. It's not really on the agenda for discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we discuss it during trustees' report?
Sure.
Okay. Are there any more comments in this room regarding non-agenda items? Do we have anybody online willing to make a comment?
We don't have any hands raised at this time.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. And again, the April 27 meeting for the PCZBA is available online. It's a meeting that was 3 hours and 36 minutes. And again, we also have proceeded to a sound study about a week ago or 10 days ago, and we're waiting for the result for that study. And I thank you for your patience for this process. Thank you. Next on our agenda is item 5. The village board sets the order of a meeting. The village president and board of trustees will entertain requests from anyone present on the order of business to be conducted tonight during the village board meeting. Do we have any requests?
We don't, the only thing, we could switch 6 and 7 quickly.
We could do that. So item 7 would come next. Are there any more requests? Without any objection, moving on to item 7. That would be our, no, item 7A, right? Is what you're saying, 7A. And without any objection, item 7A would be the next item. And I say we're moving on to item 7A.
That's my report. I've asked our intern, who is getting very close to graduating, to give a presentation to the board about this year's farmers market report.
Thank you.
Lauren?
Thank you. So the first farmers market will take place this year on June 7th on the Village Green and will continue through Friday, October 11th. The hours of the market this year will be from 7 a.m. to noon. The first farmers market took place in Lake Bluff in 1993, making this the 31st market, which is very exciting. The Lake Bluff Farmers Market has also been recognized by major media sources as one of the best farmers markets in the Chicagoland area. The goal of the farmers market is to cultivate connection between the Lake Bluff residents and bolster economic development in the downtown. We thank Julie Whitehead, Holdsworth, and Phillips Ross for helping produce the artwork for this year. And we would also like to thank the Lake Forest Bank and Trust for sponsoring the market for the second year in a row. The committee aims to provide a wide variety of produce, baked goods, flowers, and specialty products at the market. At this time, the farmers market has accepted 36 vendors, 28 of which are returning from the 2023 season, and the list of vendors has been included in your packet and is also on the village website now. The committee has also accepted a number of new faces to the season this year, including Bakeshare Baking, which will sell a variety of pies, cookies, and fruit crumble bars. Dig It Garlic, which will sell garlic bulbs, scapes, powders, and snacks. Legacy Fudge, which will have 15 different varieties of fudge. Magic Crepes, which will sell both sweet and savory crepes. Nirman Yemes, which will sell Turkish and Greek foods, including baklava, fried feta rolls, stuffed grape leaves, spanakopita, and more. Nuts to Go, which will sell flavored nut mixes and nut butters. Para Farms, which will add to our vegetables, jams, salsa, and flours. Wanda Farms, which will sell beef, pork, poultry, and eggs. The market also hosts a number of different activities to encourage traffic and to provide fun entertainment for our residents and patrons. The 2024 schedule this year includes musical entertainment at every market. RC juggles balloon artists from June 14th to July 26th. The Lake Bluff Library's children's activities, which will take place every other week from June 14th to August 23rd. And we're tentatively planning the corn roast for around August 11th of this year. We would like to thank and recognize the work for many of those who have contributed to the successful planning of the market's 31st season, including our Farmers Market Committee, some of which are here tonight, including our chair, Frank Pony Swanton, Daria Andrews, Sean Bjork, and Adrian Fawcett, Lise Martin, Sarah Raymore-Winek, Kathy Shepard, and Kathleen Gridley Swanton. We'd also like to welcome our new market manager this year, Ms. Kate Cole, and most of all, thank you to all of our customers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe it's a very special time. And this is, the market is very much here for the leadership from Pony and Gridley. And so that would be your 30th year leading this market. And so we would like to express our gratitude for leading this market for the last 30 years. We have a very special present for you. You might know.
So this was Drew's idea. We had some
Yeah, just like Pony and Gridley, it's a one of a kind.
Drew. Creative.
That's gonna be the next year's sticker.
Oh, sure.
Celebrating 32.
Usually.
Yeah.
I'm not much into pickleball, but I really am into the farmer's market. So I just want to say thank you to the village board and 31 years of village boards who've really been supportive of us. It's a big help. 31 years of committee members and market managers. We've been very lucky to have a lot of people volunteer for this committee and to be market managers. And they've helped keep the integrity of the market. That's been a very important thing for us. We want it to be a farmer's market, and it has continued to be that. Especially thankful to the people who volunteered during the pandemic. Without those extra people, we wouldn't have been able to open the market, and Gridley pulled in a bunch of markers for that, and we were lucky to have that. There's some of the current committee members are here tonight, and I thank them very much for coming. And I'd like to thank Wintrust Financial. They really stepped up the last 2 years and gave us a really nice donation. And without Wintrust, there isn't things like the free corn roast, shopping bags, music, balloon performer, advertising, thank you lunch for the vendors. So sponsor is really a big deal. I'd like to thank Drew, who pitches in as needed. We call that clout. The village staff to the market, Clara and Lauren, I cannot tell you how great those two gals have been. They came here just when the start of the market last year. They cleaned up all the loose ends. The market opened on time. Everything was in perfect place. They came to me shortly afterwards and asked if there was anything else I could do. And I said, I've been begging for social media. And you guys are young, and I'll bet you know how to do that. So my son, several years ago, Patrick, set up all our accounts, and he worked it for a while, but he got busy, as such goes on, and the committee worked it for a while. And we really needed somebody to work it all the time. And they have worked it. They've cleaned up all the accounts. There's postings, there's pictures, there's all sorts of things on there. So you guys don't, I hope you know how lucky you are. These are two great gals. And, the market is not just 19 weeks. Gridley and I are in constant contact with Claire and Lauren all during the year. It's really a 12-month process, and they're there. They help us continually. They get all the paperwork done, which is sometimes a pain, but they do a great job, and I really appreciate having them. Lastly, I've been very fortunate to have Gridley as my partner for the last 31 years. She's been the market manager for 12 years. We sort of hustled her into being the market manager for a year, and she's been around for that long. And I'm just lucky that she's as passionate about the market as I am. Again, thank you all very much. I love the market. I'm still going to come to the market. I hope you all will come too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I apologize. I couldn't hear that. That is going to be the next vehicle sticker for next year. Is that what I understand?
That's what I said.
We can make that happen.
I think we have.
A unique piece of 4,000 exemplaries, right?
Lake Bluff Gothic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, like,
We'll deliver that to them. I mean, I can, they're on.
You're starting a lot of gardening, maybe you'll jump in there at some point. Oh, that's the market. Can you grow anything you can sell at the farmer's market?
I'll let you know in about 5
Oh,
minutes.
absolutely.
Take a little while.
I have a lot
I
of
can't-
potatoes
wait.
in the ground.
We can,
You can't.
we can deliver the picture to you, don't worry about it. I mean, you're on my way home anyway, so.
That's very sweet.
Thank you.
Thank
Bailey.
you.
We're excited.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Next on our agenda is item 6A, that would be the village finance report for warrants report for April 23rd to May 13, 2024, and fiscal year 2024 payroll expenditures. Is there a motion to approve the warrants report?
So moved?
Second.
Thank you. This report is for a expenditure of village funds for payments of invoices in the amount of $587,064.13 for April 23 to May 13, 2024, and for expenditure of village funds for payment of payroll in the amount of $293,863.60 for March and $296,468.80 for April 2024, for total expenditure of $1,177,396.53. Do we have any questions on the board?
I had one question, and I should have brought it up before. I'm just curious about how frequent, is this an annual expense, the ambulance expense?
It's quarterly,
Quarterly?
and that was actually one of the lowest quarters
Okay.
this year.
I don't know why it didn't pop up on my mind before, but that's good to know.
Bettina, could you talk about how there's a true up as well?
It's not a true up yet, Drew?
No, I know, but there is one, is my point.
Oh, there is a true up. So come July, Lake Forest will review their actual expenditures because they base the cost on budgeted expenditures. They'll come back and either say, we get so much back or we could owe. Typically, historically, it's been that we've gotten a refund.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. I did review the ledger and I did not have any questions. Any more questions to Bettina? Andrew? It is this is a roll call. Clerk, please.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
The vote carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bettina.
Thank you. Next is our village attorney's report.
No report tonight.
Thank you. Followed by my report, item 9. And tonight we are discussing appointment of Lori Lam to the Business Advisory Ad hoc Committee. Specifically, in October 2021, the village established the Business Advisory Committee to serve as an advisory body to the village president, board of trustee, and village administrator. In the beginning, there were 11 members of the back that were appointed to advise village leadership on ways to improve the economy of a village for all current and future residents, visitors, and businesses. Over the past few years, certain members have resigned from the back for the BAC for various reasons, and today the current committee members include Mark DeWart and Paul Lemieux as co-chair, doing a bang-up job. Brad Anderson, Deb Fisher, Gary Lawrence, Jeff Lynch, and Ron Osterline, representing businesses in town. The BAC has been actively recruiting leadership from business professionals in the Lake Bluff Business Park along Waukegan Road, and believes that Lori Lam from Elco Mutual and Annuity, located at 916 Sherwood Drive, can provide perspective from that corner of Lake Bluff. Are there any comments on the board? Is this a motion to go forward with this nomination, or what is the process of this vote?
Yeah, you're appointing, and there needs to be a motion to approve your appointment.
Thank you. Could I please have a motion to appoint Lori to the BAC?
So moved.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And thank you, the motion carries. Thank you so much. And now we have a chance to have a member of that board being on the west side for more perspective, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you very much. And that does conclude my report for tonight. Next would be item 10, acceptance of a correspondence. Please note that all correspondence was delivered to the Village Board of Trustees in the informational report on April 19, April 26, and May 3rd, 2024. Is there a motion to approve a correspondence?
So moved?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next would be item 11, an ordinance vacating a portion of the public right-of-way at east for an alley east on East Sheridan Place alley. East Sheridan Place. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. This is one of two related items under consideration by the Village Board on Monday, May 13, 2024, involving 1, the vacation of a portion of the East Sheridan Place alley, and 2, granting easements over the same property to provide the village and private utility access and use of the alley. Andrew and Marjorie Kaflina are the owners of 327 East Sheridan Place. The property is improved with a residence and detached garage that is accessed via village-owned alley of East Sheridan Place. A few years ago, the Kaflinas indicated a desire to acquire the portion of a row that serves their property. Over the years, the village has vacated, sold, leased, and licensed property to meet a variety of objectives, and after consulting the 2002 Lake Bluff Plan Commission inventory report on village-owned lots and unique village right-of-way, which recommends privatizing the alley as soon as possible, the village and the property owner began working towards transfer until the COVID pandemic put the matter on hold. Now, years later, the Kaflinas are selling their home and recently indicated a desire to acquire a portion of the alley prior to the transfer. To that end, the village administrators and village attorney have developed the attached vacation ordinance and agreement. Consistent with village practice, the portion of the alley to be vacated will not count towards the bill calculation for 327 East Sheridan Place. The vacation agreement also calls for the village and the homeowner to share in the resurfacing costs of the alley. Once transferred, the village responsibility for the maintenance and replacement of the improved portion of the alley will end. Questions and comments on the board?
No questions.
Nope.
Any comment? Nope.
I was just making sure I understood which alley it was. It
Yep.
makes
We
sense.
discussed that at a previous COW. Any questions to Drew? So this is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So I understand, thank you, the motion carries. So we also have a waiver of second reading requested. So is this a case where can I please have a motion for?
So moved.
For the waiver?
Second.
And just to clarify why the homeowner has a closing in June, and the board won't be meeting anymore this month. The second meeting in May has been canceled, and that's the only reason why they wanted to meet their closing date.
That's fair.
So I will say also on this, since this is the vacation, it requires 3/4 of the trustees, so that's 4. And it's a roll call vote.
Okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Thank
Motion
you.
carries.
Thank you. Next item related is item 12, a resolution approving an easement agreement by and between the village and the owner of 327 East Sheridan Place. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Again, this is one of two related items under consideration by the village board on Monday, 13, involving the vacation of a portion of the East Sheridan Place alley, and two, granting easements over the same property to provide the village and private utilities access and use right to the alley. Andrew and Marjorie Kaflinas are the owner of 327 East Sheridan Place. The property is improved with a residence and detached garage that is accessed via village-owned alley off of Sheridan Place, East Sheridan Place. A few years ago, the Kaflinas indicated a desire to acquire the portion of a row that serves their property. Over the years, the village has vacated, sold, leased, and licensed property to meet a variety of objectives, and after consulting the 2002 Lake Bluff Plan Commission inventory report on village-owned lots and unique village right-of-ways, which recommends privatizing the alley as soon as possible, the village and property owner began working towards the transfer until the COVID pandemic put the matter on hold. Now, years later, the Kaflinas are selling their home and recently indicated a desire to acquire a portion of the alley prior to the transfer. To that end, the village administrator and village attorney have developed the vacation ordinance and the attached easement agreement. Once transferred, the village responsibility for the improved portion of the alley ends. However, it will still be necessary for the village to have access to the alley until such a time that the remainder of the village-owned property is transferred to the adjoining property owners. Additionally, private utility companies will need to be able to continue to construct and maintain electric, telephone, and cable television lines within the alley area. Comments and remarks on the board, if any? It is a resolution with a roll call vote. I do not see any more comments. Claire, please call the roll.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
The motion carries.
So on the ordinance that approved the vacation, I'm surprised none of you got when I said 3/4 of the trustees is 4. 3/4 of the trustees is 5, but we had 5 trustees, so it did not affect anything other than showing that I'm not great at math. You thought about it?
It flashed in my brain, but I'm bad at math, so I'm like, I'll trust him. He's smarter than me.
That's all.
And Drew told me you were responsible.
I took responsibility for my error.
See, still true, still true.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that little comment. And congratulations to Andrew and Marjorie Kaflinas.
Congratulations to the village. That was a high priority item since 2002.
Awesome.
Way to
I
go.
was trying to make the story very nice, you know. Thank you. So, no, but Andrew and Jory are friends of ours too, so good for them and for us. Next item would be item 13, a resolution authorizing the execution of a construction contract with Landscape Concepts Management, Inc. for the Village of Lake Bluff 2024 Central Business District Landscape Plantings Project. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Seconded.
Thank you very much. At 10 a.m. on Friday, May 10th, 2024, the Village of Lake Bluff opened bids for the 2024 Central Business District Landscape Plantings Project. 2 bids were opened with the lowest responsible bid of $42,467, submitted by Landscape Concepts Management of Grays Lake, Illinois. The project includes the planting of shrubs, perennials, and ornamental grasses in location in the village's central business district along both sides of East Scranton Avenue between Walnut and Oak Avenue, and on the east side of East Center Avenue between Village Hall and East Scranton Avenue. The plans for the area also include street furniture and planters that the village is procuring separately. The village proposed a fiscal year 2025 budget includes a total of $150,000 for this project. All elements of the project, including the proposed construction contract with Landscape Concepts Management, are estimated to cost $110,000. Landscape Concept Management has been recommended by the village consultant and has completed several projects in the area. The village engineer is recommending that the village board award the contract to Landscape Concepts Management for the amount of $42,467. Thank you.
I had two quick questions. One, Drew, this is for plantings in the spring of 2025, correct?
That's for now. They're going to get, they have, Jeff, remind me how much time they have. They have, I think they're going to get it done by June 28th. I could be wrong about that, but before the 4th. Contractually, they'll do it now.
Got it, okay. Felt late to me, but
Yep, that's the right
we're
date.
moving. Okay, so that's question number one. Number two, we have a budget of 150,000, but the total project's going to be 110, so
Yeah.
we're saving $40,000. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
this was the best bid opening we've had in some time.
Love it.
Probably 4 years, maybe 5.
And then this village board, 2 meetings ago, authorized plantings in between Village Hall all the way through Innovasi separately. Is that accurate, Drew?
That's part of this project.
That's part of this.
All included.
Oh, okay.
And
Because
the street furniture has been ordered.
terrific. So we kind of said, okay, well, we felt like putting extra money against this project was a good thing to do for the village, but in fact, we ended up saving a lot of money due to really good bidding.
We were surprised as everybody else.
All right.
Glad we authorized it then.
It just, I guess, just shows you again that how it's difficult to predict the marketplace and what's happening, and this is just one of those where it was surprisingly less. So
So this contract is for the physical plantings in what's grass right now, and we are ordering the planters separately. I don't know exactly when the planters and the street furniture will be here.
I was told 4 to 6 weeks. They were ordered last week. So
Great.
And literally the planters are called the Lake Bluff planters, right? This is the
Yes,
line.
some of them are.
right. That did not get us a discount, unfortunately.
Thank you. Are there any more questions to Jeff and Drew? Okay, this is a
So make
roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Cole,
Aye.
Trustee Fisher,
Aye.
Trustee Freed,
Aye.
Trustee Rappin,
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Thank you. Next would be item 14, our trustees' report. Do any trustees wish to make a report tonight?
I wanted to ask some questions about pickleball.
You may.
Okay, so probably the best question for you, Drew, in terms of, I know there is a sound study happening. When do we expect the results, the full study results back from that?
Any day now.
Any day, okay. And then once that study is back, if it is determined that the sound exceeds the maximums that are allowed in the community, what are the possible alternatives and actions that the board or the village can take?
Well, one, the results of that study we would share with the petitioner, which is the Park District. And so that leads to the answer. What I would like to answer your question is, one, the Park District, let's say the results came back and the pickleball play was in fact in violation of the village's noise regulations for that zoning district, as well as the Illinois Pollution Control Board standards. That information shared with the Park District, they may say, okay, well, we want to hit the pause button on play. That is a possibility. During the rest of the pendency of their zoning application. They may not do that, and the village could say, well, we've looked at this information and we think we're going to have a conversation with you all about that and try to encourage you, because if you're not, we're going to in fact say the landscape has changed. We want to now say we're going to change the terms of your moving through the process, and no longer you can't play during that time. And then they could make a choice whether to continue play and be subject to fines, which is up to $750 a day per violation. That's what our code says. So that would be a consequence that they could face. Alternatively, they can come back to the village and say, we want to work out a different program and see if we can work out something different with the neighbors, or so that exists as a possibility as well. Or the village can continue the course, which is during the pendency of the application, the village could say, we're going to allow it to go on. That is a choice that the village could make, and the village has allowed situations that are violative of the codes to continue. That has happened to different degrees over the years.
Drew, could you tell us about an example specifically when the village did that?
An example of somebody constructed a shed or something that may be too tall or in the wrong location adjacent to adjoining properties that could be obstructing sunlight or be too close to the property line. That's happened. In my time here, there have been times where trying to think of other situations that are I don't know that there's been a noise issue in my time here, but there's been some other activities that were I'm trying to think of another one here. Well, there's been the Lake Bluff Library has a situation where they changed the exterior lights on the library building without a permit and without going through the RIO process. They're in a situation where they are to appear in front of the ABR. They haven't done so yet, and they have adjusted their lights to correspond with their new hours, so that it's been less intense for the neighbors, but nonetheless, they still have lights that shine down in their house that haven't gone through design review yet or been approved formally yet. So that's a situation where light is trespassing on the neighbor's property. Those are some examples.
Thank you, Drew. Any more comments, Drew, about this item?
No, I would say this. I mean, like, we're going to get that. Our expectation is we're going to get a report. Our consultant is aware. I confirm that we have the desire to know definitively whether it comports with the village code or, I mean, it could come back and say it meets the state code, but it may not meet the village code, or, they could be, we don't know the actual status of that yet. And, I know the Park District did have a review. They did some noise projections, but one of the biggest issues that our consultant, or I guess exception, they took to their data, they didn't have any local data collected. They didn't establish what the ambient noise level was to make that determination. We did do that last week. And so that's important for us to get a true reading and understand what's going on out there. So we're waiting for that definitive information before we go back to the Park District with any sort of report yet. But we really don't have any idea of what the numbers are, where they're going to land definitively yet.
So when is the next PCZBA meeting?
June 19th.
And we aren't meeting until the second week of June again.
That's correct.
Is there something we should maybe consider doing? Is there a way we could get another meeting on the schedule once we've received the sound study?
Yeah, the village, we can call a meeting with 48 hours notice and a quorum.
Yeah.
So provided people are around, that's a possibility if you would like to meet and talk about this.
If it is a desire on the board.
Yeah.
Is there a consensus around that?
I think it's necessary.
Most certainly.
Yeah, I think once we know that second, I think we'll anticipate what the second study is going to be, but once we have that second study, I think it's going to demand some kind of action, whether from us or or voluntarily from.
So I think I have a full consensus on the board.
One of the neighbors mentioned today that the earlier study, the Park District's own study,
Yes.
confirmed it was violative.
It
That-
did.
But we're still waiting for ours to, yeah, but yes.
Our
yes.
study is based on facts and
facts,
objective
yes, well,
measurements. The April 27 meeting was indicating 500 feet as a minimum distance
Yeah.
by their own noise expert.
Right.
And that again is on video on our website.
Yes.
So we have consensus on this side, Drew, to have another meeting before our next meeting.
Oh, great. Yep. I'll get the report, and when I do, when it's, and I would like, I guess, if presumably to meet with Regis, you and I can meet with Park District leadership after we get those results and see if they want to voluntarily do something. Again, this is presumptuous, but if they would, then maybe they would.
Yes, I'm very available in the next 2 weeks up here.
And one of our references was to change course and no longer allow play. I don't agree with that characterization. I think that notion that we were going to permit play pending the process was based on the assurances we received that we were going to proceed forthwith. And this extension into the summer months, when this has been going on since last fall, seems to me a change in circumstance that we must consider.
Well, and there's another, I mean, there's more data to be collected. Our consultant, the way the timing of things worked out, there was a switch on our plans because of pending weather with the planned collection of data, and we didn't get the complete data that we want at Artesian yet. So there is value, I think, in hitting, I guess, a continuance button for the Park District, in that everybody will have good data in which to help the Park District formulate some optional plans, perhaps, that brings this matter to complete resolution. I understand certainly for the neighbors that, time is time, and that's not what they're looking for, and why that's painful. But I think it is incredibly important to make for the zoning board and for you all to make a decision based off good data. And
Yeah. To be clear, part of the extension was based on our data not being complete. Am I?
Well, that's part of it. And unfortunately, as everybody knows, we tried to go get that data a long time ago, and
Right.
we're, that didn't happen, but here we are. But the truth is that our consultant does want to get ambient data collection to set that baseline data for which to make the determination about compliance, but also to help make good models that we can have good conversations around. And we're just not in that position yet, but we will be very soon. So.
Can I just clarify, the uncollected data relates to Artesian and not to Blair, correct?
That is correct. He was able to take a couple of measurements, but to get a strong, I guess, a quality ambient measurement, you need to do it over 24 hours.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was just going to, if the noise exceeds Lake Bluff regulations at Blair, this board can take an action independent of the extension of time on the zoning.
Right.
Yeah, in the interim.
And ideally, the Park District would step up and do the appropriate thing themselves, but if not, I think we're going to have to.
And that's why I think it's important that Drew,
Yeah.
Regis, that there's a conversation. I would really like that the Park District, maybe conversations start now, so that it's not a matter of, oh, nobody's available, that our sound study is forthcoming, and that there would be a smooth and swift turnover for us to meet if we have to.
I agree. I mean, this conversation needs to be fact-based, objectively measured, as opposed to we think. And this is what is coming to us, and so I have high hope that we can have this time and conversation that is decisive, and we can show progress for the community and have a real space to play pickleball without being guilty to and harming our neighbors.
Right.
And so I think this is progress, but I want to see that study coming to us.
Just to be clear, you said it was anticipated to be done in the next few days, like within this week, or am I making that up?
No, you heard correctly. You're right on.
Okay. So we could meet as early as next week if we had to. Okay.
If we get it tomorrow, we could meet on Thursday.
No, you wouldn't have notice.
Well, we could meet
Notice.
48 hours thereafter. How about
Yeah,
that?
it would be nice for Regis and Drew to meet with the Park District and to
Correct.
collaborate on plans moving forward
There
first.
needs to be a conversation in the community, and there needs to be also transparency to this board, to the community.
Right.
With 48 hours lead time. So no, we will make this happen. We will get, we know how we're making progress, and we'll make sure that we
Almost
keep
there.
that momentum. Is there any more to this item? Steve?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Are there any more? Thank you very much for the community. Is there any more, are there any more trustees' report for tonight? Thank you. Next on our agenda is item 15, the consideration of the April 24th, 2024 executive session meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
So moved?
Second.
No comments? Are there any comments? Thank you. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll. A voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I swear I'm going to put a post-it right there, okay? So, thank you. Next, and we have tonight an executive session as item 16. It should be a short executive session. May I have a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing closed session minutes and appointment to public office pursuant to the Illinois Open Meetings Act, and that upon the adjournment of a closed session, this regular meeting will be deemed to automatically be adjourned by the same vote without the conduct of any further business.
So moved.
Thank you.
Solely for the purpose of discussing personnel? Is that my understanding?
Public appointment.
Public
appointments,
appointment, not personnel?
employees, not
No
employees.
discussion today about pending or threatened litigation?
No. Appointment to public office.
That is up to the board. The motion hasn't been made and done yet, so that's your call.
Okay.
Would you like to amend the motion?
I would like to amend the motion to include a discussion of potential or
Probable or
pending or
imminent-
probable
or
imminent litigation.
And we'll make a finding as to why that, we believe it's probable or imminent when we're in closed session.
Okay. So two reasons, probable or imminent litigation and appointment to public office.
And closed session.
And closed session is 3 items.
Make a motion. I think
So moved.
That's a roll call.
To amended motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. And this is a roll call.
Then make the motion?
So I asked for it to be amended, someone else made the motion. Thank you.
Roll call?
This is a roll call.
Trustee Fisher.
Aye.
Trustee Freed.
Aye.
Trustee Rappin.
Aye.
Trustee Ryder.
Aye.
Trustee Cole.
Aye.
Thank you. And this concludes the open part of the village board meeting. Thank you to anyone in attendance, and have a great evening.